my vision has been getting better. And I'm about to go and have to get another pair of glasses. And because it's hard to wear them when I'm in the car. I'm supposed to wear them in the car, and it says it on my driver's license, but I really don't need them when I'm driving anymore. So, but also, I have more joy. And it just, I mean, I can find the positive normally in pretty much everything. But then there was some time that I wasn't doing that. And now I can easily find joy every day to celebrate. And that is huge.
Hey, Kat, thanks so much for coming on Touch Tales today.
Hey, Tracy, thanks. It's great to be here.
Well, you are always just a delight. You have such great energy, and I just really enjoy our conversations.
Well, I love all the work you're doing. So we're even Steven on the respect and admiration for each other.
Ah, thank you. So, Kat, what is going on with your touch? Like, how often are you using it?
Well, I still have the V6s and I take those off when I'm doing the touch. And I have to tell you, I let me just bring up yesterday and this morning. I'll start with that. Um, I overdid it yesterday. And I'm moving, so I'm moving stuff around in the garage. And when I say I overdid it, I really overdid it. I could barely walk when I got done. And I knew I was overdoing it the whole time I was doing it, but I had my both my devices on, and I actually listened and sat down for a few minutes while I was going through all of that stuff. While and I did the meditation while I sorted something very gently. So I'm committed to healing and to this whole touch and the V9s, V6s, everything. And it was really cool because I went in the hot tub, then I got done. I was barely walking up the stairs. It was so funny. And then I did a double of the touch and did a shower. And then I just relaxed and I was already feeling better. Then this morning I woke up and I walked to the bathroom and went, oh, look at me. I can walk. I was so excited. And so I really count on and really enjoy and am really attached to this wonderful touch meditation feeling that I get when I do it. I just love it. And so I feel fabulous. I'm ready to go back out there again today. And I'm going to overdo it again. But I have a friend along with me called the touch. And I stop what I'm doing every day and I do it 3 times a day. And sometimes when I have little experiences like I've had yesterday and those falls I had, which I'll talk about in a little bit, those I do a double and I feel so much better after I'm done. I'm here to tell you, I'm so excited about how I feel with this. I don't think I ever want to be without it. And my plan is that we'll be best friends forever. So
That's so awesome. So, what else, Kat? What have you noticed just through the last few months of using the touch?
Well, at first, when I first started using it in December, I was fine for a couple weeks and I was just doing it, I think it was once a day and I think I did it a couple times twice a day. And then I started in January. Must have been second guessing myself in some way that is this really working? How is it going to help me? And my blood pressure started having some funkiness. And I noticed that when I stopped and thought about what was going on, my whole sense sometimes is I'm a giver, 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 and I know you are too. um, but I wasn't as big of a receiver. So I noticed that when I stopped myself and said, okay, girl, we got to sit and look at this because nothing is going to hurt me with this, but I think it's in my head that I was not accepting and receiving the healthy vibes. And that was my issue because as soon as I said, okay, I am ready to receive, just bring it on. And I now accept all the goodness that's coming to me. All of a sudden, I'm worthy of healing and all this healthy vibes. So when that changed in January, um, I started doing it when they started making the shifts. I was doing it 2 times a day, then 3 times a day. And I'm here to tell you, I've never gone back and I've not had any problems with my blood pressure since then. So it was a head thing for me to say, okay, I can receive this. I'm worthy of healing and health. So bring it on. And when I did that, I made a big difference in my life. So not only that, but I feel like cognitively, I have been able to problem solve a lot better. I mean, I'm a problem solver naturally, but sometimes I was having glitches in my problem solving. And then when I started this, it just has been so amazing. So I feel that it's there with me. It's what I can draw on. It's like when somebody loves going to a library and they can find what they need in any book, that kind of thing. I feel like I have this right here because all I have to do is trust it and know that I can do this already. I just need to believe in myself. So that has helped a lot. And I think my hair is changing back to salt and pepper rather than just the salt. Um, I also feel that I have to say, and this is, I'm going to do a little overshare here, but my bowel movements are, um, are much more, I feel like I'm fully empty by the time I get done, and they're better. And so I love that. I mean, as a 66-year-old woman, I think that's always a good thing. Um, and so I've noticed that too. I also noticed that my vision has been getting better. And I'm about to go and have to get another pair of glasses. And because it's hard to wear them when I'm in the car. I'm supposed to wear them in the car, and it says it on my driver's license, but I really don't need them when I'm driving anymore. So I'm going to see if I can work that out. And then I might have to carry something with me that says I don't have to have them. I'm just looking into things, but that I've noticed that too. And I think too, my skin is not as dry as I'm in Colorado, so there's dryness everywhere. It's been crazy. So I've noticed that too. And I think I'm thinking also I have orchids. If I was a flower, I'd be an orchid. I promise myself it would be. But at the same time, I've had a hard time since I came to Colorado a couple years ago in growing them. And I do the touch in the room that all my orchids are in. And all of a sudden, I can regrow and rebloom the orchids. And it's amazing. I really feel it has something to do with it because when I started doing it 3 times a day, I'm in that room doing it 90% of the time. And all of a sudden, I have 17 of my orchids that are reblooming gorgeously, which I will send you a picture. And then I also have 14 more that are, got the buds on them. I can't, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I'm giving the touch the credit because I think they like it just as much as I like it. And I also noticed that my dog is right next to me all the time when I'm doing it. So I'm noticing some changes in him and he's not as skittish on, when something loud happens and things like that. So I've just noticed some differences there. He's calmer, he snuggles more, things like that, especially when the touch is on. So I think he's getting benefits. But I also feel like I had 2 falls recently. One was with ice with that I just thought was wet pavement, and all of a sudden, whoop, and I went and hit my back, smack on my back. And then the touch really helped because I went in and did a double immediately, then went out and sanded it, and then at the same time, then I just kept using it. And normally, I've fallen like this before. On some mustard and grease at a Costco one time, and I fell the same way. So I know that it took me like 6 weeks at the chiropractor before. And this time I waited 3 days till I could get in to him. And he said, wow, I thought you're going to be a lot worse than this. And then the second time was with a dog and a leash and that kind of stuff happening. And I face planted right into the grass, which was Lovely. I'm glad that it was grass, and I looked up when I realized because my face hit on this side, and I looked, and the pavement was like 3, 4 inches away. So I'm just saying there if somebody doesn't believe in a higher power, I do. So after both falls, which they were 2 weeks apart, I just did the doubles all the time for 2 or 3 days after that. And I'm here to tell you that people noticed that I wasn't in bad shape after that. I mean, I was better. So I've noticed it helps me not only heal physically and get like last night, my knees were, I was throbbing as I walked up the stairs, but as soon as I had done the double touch and then I went in the shower, I got out and I was like, okay, that helped a ton. So again, this morning I did more and I can actually sit here and not be in pain. So the physical is good, but the mental, I'm feeling not only the cognitive, the, um, the problem solving and things like that, but also I have more joy. And it just, I mean, I can find the positive normally in pretty much everything. But then there was some time that I wasn't doing that. And now I can easily find joy every day to celebrate. And that is huge. So my heart, I think my heart grew 3 sizes since I've been using the touch because it just feels natural. Are you okay?
Yeah, you froze. And
Oh,
so go back to my heart grew 3 sizes.
I think my heart has grown 3 sizes since I've been using the touch because I can find joy in so many things. And I just really appreciate that. So and not only that, so it's not only physical, but I'm feeling it's mentally. I'm not as, because when you get in your 60s, you start to, and especially when you have your mom who had dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay, let's just mention that. Um, when my cognitive abilities are getting better and I can feel sharper and I don't have those glitches anymore, that makes a difference knowing that I had that in my family, that kind of thing. Um, and I'm not planning on following in her footsteps, by the way.
I have the same thing. My mom's only 81 and she's like, woo, gone. And so that's always in the back of my mind too. So directing that wave to my brain is big.
Well, yes, and just knowing and trusting that these fabulous, miraculous frequencies are the answer to what we need because if we succumb to that idea that, well, because my mom had thyroid problems and then she had dementia and she had this, then I'm going to have it. Nope, not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. So I think, the just the mental, emotional, and the spiritual things. And I went and did a reading recently when I was on vacation. And it's fun to go do a little reading at a place. And she said, wow. She said, you are a bright light. Wow. She said, I don't know if anybody has ever told you that, but there is something really cool around you. And I said, oh yeah, well, it's this. And I pulled this out of my shirt and I said, and she goes, well, I got to write that down. I said, well, look at the touch. And I told her the whole thing. And she was like, okay, I'm looking at this, but you truly are the person that have never had this bright a light around them before that I've ever read. So I think there's a lot more spiritually, mentally, physically, just cognitively, everything has just upgraded, and I think that to me is really, really hopeful that I can maintain this for the rest of my life. And I'm just beginning in my 60s. I don't know what they said, the 60s are the new 30s or whatever, but I don't know if that's true, but, but I'm starting a new life. I'm going to be moving soon to a new location. So I decided I'm going to have a fabulous life. And this is helping tremendously. It really is. It's amazing. And I forgot to tell you one other story. I think when I was driving back from this other location that I'm going to be moving to, it didn't look like there was any snow on the roads. I checked and everything beforehand. And then I turned around all of a sudden and I'm in a snowstorm. And I was in that place of, okay, I'm in a Prius, I'm in the mountains in Colorado. That doesn't probably go together really well. But what I did do was I noticed that I couldn't see. I don't know if my headlights were crusted over with some stuff or something, but I couldn't really see. So I started panicking a little bit and I had anxiety. And I just I kept saying, okay. And at one point in time, and oh, by the way, we're on a 75-mile-an-hour highway. We're going 35. Okay. That's what kind of snowstorm it was, you know. And so I pulled this out of my shirt and I just held onto it and said, okay, I need desperately to be able to see better. I have to see the road to get home. I have to be there. So please help me get there. I trust you. I know you can do this. I know you can do this with me. And please help me, help me. And I dropped it again, and I put my other hand on the steering wheel, and I'm going. And all of a sudden, like a minute later, there was a car that pulls over, had gone around me and pulled over in front of me, and I could follow it because I could see the lights. And all of a sudden, it was like I didn't see it coming up behind me. I didn't know where it came from. But all of a sudden it was there, and I was able to go through the hardest part with this car. And it was a little white car. I don't know what kind it was. It didn't matter, but I was saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I think this whole thing for me is connected to our universal power that is so, so amazing. And so when you look and have divine power with you, I think it's a combination, but I was able to get through, and I was crying by the time I got down to Denver. I was literally crying, going, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's how I got home. So it really helps everything in my life so far. And there isn't anything that's negative at all. And as long as I think the key for me though was looking at myself and saying, why is this not working when it's supposed to be positive for everybody? Oh, wait, it's me. So if anybody's not having a good experience, stop and look at yourself and say, am I in receiving mode? Am I worthy for good healing? Am I worthy for all of that wonderful stuff that's coming my way? Am I blocking it somehow because I didn't believe that I deserved it? Well, you know what? I deserve it. And ever since I chose that, I have had an amazing experience, and it just is getting better every day. Oh, and oh, one more thing. My arches, I have really high arches on my feet. Okay. How this is all to do with the touch, but I've noticed when I was just wearing the V6s, I didn't notice as much. But when I started doing the touch, my arches, I have to wear orthotics, custom orthotics in my shoes. Okay. Now I have to wear, there's a higher one and there's a lower one. And now I'm wearing the lower one because my arches aren't as high. Go figure.
That's awesome.
I don't
Wow.
know how.
That's a lot of good things happening, Kat. I just love hearing that. And you know what is the best? Is your delivery of it. Your joyful presence, your smile, your laugh. You're just a light.
Well,
So
I'm loving life right now. So, and my two new niece, Barb and Lola, they are very, very responsive to the touch too. So last night I actually slept with them right above my knees. The Titanium sisters had their own little V6 there, and I did the touch right down when I was doing it before I went to the shower. I put the touch right down there, right on top of them. So, I'm sharing my experiences with my ladies here.
you're so
But yes, it makes such a difference. Yeah. So I'm just so happy that I can share with you and with everybody just how fabulous this is. So if you're questioning it, just do it. That's all I'm going to say, is because I love this and I don't want to ever be without it. So that's how I feel about it.
Thank you. And it cannot hurt you. There's
Right.
other people who are also have been afraid of it, and we just continuously say it cannot hurt you.
Well, I think I would just follow it up also with telling people to look at themselves as the blocking and say, am I receiving or am I stuck? And if you're not receiving, then you're stuck and you just need to make the choice to say, I am worthy of this and I am now receiving all of it, and open your hands if you need to, whatever. But that's what made the difference for me. So I
Awesome.
really, so thank you.
Well, I so appreciate you, Kat. I'm so thankful you came and shared your beautiful story with Touch Tales and the listeners. So until next time.
Thank you.
Okay, my dear, make it a great day.